Welcome back. In the last two videos, you learned how tempo and loudness can be indicated in music through additional markings. In this video, we will look at articulation, meaning the way notes are played and connected. We will demonstrate the different possibilities using the melody of Ode to Joy from Symphony No. 9 by Ludwig van Beethoven. If, as in this example, there are no articulation markings in the score, consecutive notes are usually played slightly detached from one another. Additional symbols can be placed above or below the note heads to describe more precisely how notes should be attacked and connected. Each type of articulation has its own technical term. Staccato means detached and short. It is indicated with dots. The notes are played with a clear gap between them. If the notes should be played even shorter, called staccatissimo, wedges are used instead of dots. The opposite of this is legato, meaning connected. When notes should be played smoothly connected, they are placed under a slur. The legato slur should not be confused with the tie, which you already learned about in the video on dotted notes. A tie always connects two notes of the same pitch and indicates that the second note is added to the first instead of being played again. A legato slur, on the other hand, connects notes of different pitches and indicates that the notes should be played smoothly connected. Now listen to the melody once again. The first part is played staccato, while the second part is played legato. Did you hear the difference? In fact, there are also two levels between staccato and legato. Staccato and slurs can actually be combined. This type of articulation is called portato, Italian for carried. It indicates that the notes are slightly detached, but still closely connected to one another. Even more connected is the articulation called tenuto, meaning sustained. Here, the notes are still slightly separated, but each note is held for as long as possible. Unlike legato, where the transition between notes should barely be noticeable, tenuto gives each note a clear and weighty attack. Listen to the difference between portato and tenuto using the melody. Here, you can see the 5 different articulations once again, arranged from very short to very long. Another important aspect of articulation is accents, meaning emphasis. The standard symbol for an accent is the wedge-shaped sign that closes to the right. What does this symbol remind you of? Correct. A small decrescendo. In fact, the accent sign developed from exactly that idea. It indicates that the beginning of the note should be played loudly and then become softer. An even stronger emphasis is indicated by another symbol, which should not be confused with the staccatissimo wedge. This stronger type of emphasis is called Marcato, a marking that lies somewhere between dynamics and articulation is sforzato. It indicates an accent within the existing dynamic level, not a sudden forte, as is sometimes incorrectly assumed. When articulation is applied properly, things can sometimes become quite complicated. Here you see a piano piece by Claude Debussy called Golliwogg's Cakewalk, which reflects the influence of early jazz at the beginning of the 20th century. Already in the first 4 measures, many different articulation markings appear in a very small space. Portato, accents, staccato, legato, marcato, and even a combination of staccato and marcato. Many more articulation markings follow later in the piece. When played as intended by the composer, the music sounds energetic and jazzy. Listen for yourself. These were the most important articulation markings. In the next video, we will look at how composers describe the emotions behind the music using words. In other words, musical expression. So stay tuned and watch the next video.